stress and anxiety. So that's what I'm telling. There are different factors, and it's not like mental health is like only specific to one factor. Okay, so let me tell you that if you have to talk about mental health, mainly are the main things is your stress and anxiety. Okay, even though they are interrelated, they are slightly different. So let me explain you firstly what is stress and what is anxiety. So if you have to see stress is basically it's kind of a demand placed on your brain. Like for example, so in this pandemic situations, all of us are working from home, and suddenly your manager calls you and says you need to work for 14 hours. So all of a sudden when he says that, you are under a stress, like how do I schedule my time, because you have a lot of things also running behind, right? So that is something known as stress, where suddenly they something is placed on your brain, you're not able to take it. Whereas anxiety is where you start overthinking based on the stress, whether will my manager tell me to do it for the next week, will he make me work like this for the 14 hours for the next 3 to 4 months. So that is called anxiety, which means that is affecting your future run. But both are interrelated, leading to a lot of negative impacts. Okay, so even if you have to see, the causes for the stress or anxiety can be due to even some traumatic experiences, like maybe it can be death of the loved one, or maybe separation, financial issues, job loss, or too much of work, or it can be even not actually reaching to any expectations that you have placed a goal upon. So any of these also can be causes for your mental illness, or maybe for your stress or anxiety. So if you initially find out what is the reasons for it and start doing some changes, it can bring back the mental health. But you need to understand that if these situations like your stress or anxiety are going a little more farther, where it is leading to harming yourself, then definitely you need to seek for help. Okay, so next I'll be taking you what are the symptoms. So again, these are not like specified that everybody might have all the symptoms. It can differ. Okay, because again it depends upon different causes, as I told, or different factors they're exposed to. Many can have one, two, or overall everything also. Okay, so firstly, as I told, there are wide range of mental health conditions, and it definitely affects on their thinking and their mood and how they are how they're acting as well. So firstly, let me like divide these three symptoms into three, which is first is your emotional changes. So definitely, whenever a person is stressed or into anxiety, they tend to be in so much of fear. They tend to overthink. They're like completely into fear. They act different. So emotionally, they cry a lot, or maybe they don't cry at all. They're bottling up. So many symptoms are there. Secondly, is your behavioral changes, which means they tend to act cranky. They burst out, and sometimes they are completely isolated. Right. So many, like they tend to avoid. So they do not like to mingle with the society. So many this is also a second symptom, which is your behavioral changes. Third symptom can be a physical change, because whenever the person is stressed or into anxiety, it can lead to a lot of physical changes also, which can be they might feel nauseatic. They tend to have some stomach issues, some digestive concerns. So you tend to see suddenly people complaining of, I never had gastric, but now I'm having too much of gastric. It can be because of the stress or anxiety that they are facing in some or the other issue. Or they can have a lot of headaches. They can have heartbeat, rapid heartbeat, or they can have even insomniatic issues, because thinking over the same thing, or the thinking over some stressors that they are facing, they're not able to sleep well also. Okay, so these are a few symptoms that if you are able to recognize for yourself or others, that you need to start looking for how to improvise it. Okay, so over here I do have analysis over here, but this depression quiz is not to diagnose that you're depressed. It's just to analyze whether you are into a stressful or into these situations which is giving you anxiety. So if you can answer these, and if five or more are into the yes, then somewhere it is shown that you are slightly getting into a very stressful situation, or into a situation where anxiety is actually hitting you hard. Okay, but in the initial stages when you're taking care, we can actually take care of it, because anxiety and stress are treatable, because there are so many strategies that can help. Okay, so giving you an overview of the mental illness and mental wellness over here. If you see, 1 in 4 are affected by some form of mental illness, and if you see, suicide is the third rate cause of death, and it's all because of bottling up on the stress, or slightly overthinking, which is leading to a lot of anxiety issues. Because there are chances where these kind of stress or anxiety is into like two divisions, which can be acute and chronic. So acute is again where instantly you are able to cope up, maybe due to the diversions of your work or maybe your family. But chronic is where you are absolutely overthinking about it and get into a state of depression, which is leading to a lot of chronic concerns. And if not taken care properly, or if you are bottling up everything, it can go into a situation where the person can even harm themselves. So it's always better that you start sharing your like your stressful situations to someone. And if you see anybody also having these kind of slightly behavioral changes, and you tend to see if a person is stressed out, then definitely reach out to them. Okay, because when you with mental wellness, you can definitely work it out. Okay, there are so many strategies or interventions that can bring you back to the mental health. Okay, so over here further, I would be telling you about how your body on anxiety can happen. Like what happens to your body if your anxiety levels are high, or if your body is stressed out. Okay. So firstly, if you we'll take the left picture first. So firstly, you can see the throat trouble. So what is with your throat troubles is when sudden episodes of stress or anxiety is hitting you, there are some fluids which are dispersed to different parts of your body. Okay, which causes drying of the mouth. So that is why you feel like suddenly you feel way too thirsty, or you suddenly feel completely breathless, because there's no oxygen moving towards your body. So it makes your complete throat dry up. Okay. Secondly, with your liver reactions, when the body produces, so if you have to see, whenever you're stressed out, the stress hormone called cortisol spikes up high. So at the same time, when you're having an episode of, or you're having the encounter of the anxiety, like the first encounter of anxiety or stress, it produces this cortisol hormone, that is your stress hormone, where the liver tends to produce more of glucose. When this happens, there's a spike of blood sugar in your body. And if you are not taking care of it by doing some interventions, or controlling on your lifestyle factors, it can lead to a lot of health issues in your future. Okay. Then coming with your skin reaction. So all of us might have seen, for most of the thing they say, if you're having a skin related issues and you're not able to heal it, everybody think that it's because of stress. Yes, it is absolutely right. There are changes in the skin also when stress shoots up high, because whenever stress increases the blood flow, firstly it can cause to the redistribution throughout the body. Okay, so sometimes a person who's stressed out, or gets into the first encounter of anxiety, their skin tends to become a little pale, or it can even create different kind of skin rashes or hives also. And one of the main causes for psoriasis or eczema also can be because of stress. Okay, so that's why we tend to say maintain your stress levels if you're having any skin related issues as well. Okay, then coming with the effect on spleen. So if you see, we know that the spleen is again related with your immunity, because that is where all your immune cells are formed. So if you see, in order to get more oxygen, if you have to see for the body, during the stress period, what happens is the spleen tends to give out or the body tends to give out more of the WBCs, which is your white blood cell, and your spleen turns to be inflamed. So if the right quantity of your WBCs are there, it is good for the fighting capacity or the defense function. But if too much is is promoted or it is produced, what happens is it leads to a lot of health risk. So leading to a lot of inflammation or leading to a lot of cancerous issues as well. So that is why we need to maintain your stress as well. Excuse me. Next is with your muscles. So when you see about your muscles, if you first experience any kind of stress or anxiety, suddenly your muscle tends to seize. Okay, and so the reflex happens where leading to a lot of muscle spasms happen. Okay. So firstly, if your muscles tend to tighten during the stress period, it is very much natural, because whenever your stress is high, it slightly seizes on your muscles, and that is why you have a very too many muscle spasms. So it can be in your thigh, or it can be your chest, or it can be even in your arm. You tend to feel a sudden catch on your muscles as well when you have the stress or anxiety issues. So that is for your first encounter on anxiety. Now, for a longer run, what will happen if you are continually, having into this anxiety concerns? It will definitely lead to a lot of stomach and digestive tracts. So you must have heard that definitely there's a connection between your gut and your brain, right? So that's where whenever your stress is high, it tends to release, more of the chemicals or more of these cortisol levels, leading to a lot of digestive problems, which is, leading to ulcers or digestion problems, bloating, gastric acidity, or even changes in the metabolism. Okay. Then in a long run, it can definitely affect on your heart as well, because it affects on the blood flow. So whenever your stress or anxiety issues are on the higher side, the blood flow is very low, which is, making the blood more stickier, and the risk of stroke is high. And it definitely affects the lungs as well, because it weakens the functions of the respiration, because whenever you're stressed, it slightly reduces the oxygen levels, making your chest tighter, and the lung capacity is very low. Okay. Then towards the brain, because again you're overthinking, definitely giving too much of work towards your nervous system, and you have problems falling asleep, because again overthinking is leading to a lot of insomniatic issues, which definitely affects on your brain and with your immune system. Because again, when you are onto the stress levels, your food habits, your lifestyle factors, all of it affects. And whenever you're stressed, the cortisol hormone suppresses on your immune system, where it reduces the sometimes it can reduce the production of WPCs, or automatically increase the number of WPCs than the normal range, leading to both the ways affecting your health. Okay. Now, so after knowing all these things, how we cope up is definitely matters. So now we know so many people, you must have noticed, or yourself going under to a lot of stress or anxiety. But how can we cope up is the question, right? So firstly, let's pay attention to how your mind or body responds during the stressful situation. So I'm sure that you already would have known what are the triggers or what are your stressors that can increase on your uh, stress or anxiety issue. But coping up is actually challenging. Okay, but definitely we have to be knowledgeable and knowing yourself, like how the right motivation can give you the power of coming out of this tough situation matters a lot. Okay, so first thing is awareness. So how, as I told you, the motivation, the desire to come out of this anxiety issues and to identify the cause is definitely the first step to management. Okay. Secondly is your preparation. So knowing, like, now you have understood how we need to cope up, how we need to come out. Now we need to understand how can we actually come up by any kind of techniques or interventions or therapies that can actually help me come out or maintain the management of stress. So most of them end up coping up till only point 2. They don't go till point 3 as well. So that is where we need to take a stand, where rebuilding is important, where experimenting or learning the therapies or any kind of techniques or interventions, because these therapies are very simple. Actually, if you have to just see when I'm going to talk to you further, they're very simple. They look very like normal, very silly sometimes, but nobody tends to start. Okay, so it's very it's very if you have to say, it's like if somebody wants to go for weight loss, it just cannot happen as a magic until and unless they take care of their lifestyle or go for exercise, or tend to do the right changes. Only when they start, only then they can start experiencing it. It's the same thing for your stress or anxiety also. Until and unless you don't start or experiment, you will not learn. So if you then you can understand which kind of techniques are helping you out, and definitely whenever you are put across into this kind of stressful situations, now you will be able to know how to come out of it or manage it. Okay, and the very important thing is maintenance. So you, as you have learned or done any kind of experiments with the techniques or therapies, we should do some changes or do it regularly so that you avoid on the relapse of the stress or anxiety, which is again leading you to depression, or which is leading to a lot of chronic illness. Okay, so if you have to see with how much we face happiness, okay, so coping up with negative also is necessary by doing some changes. Okay, so you can adopt to these kind of strategies to manage stress or anxiety. So here I've just given a list. So first is with your mind, body, and action. So firstly is with your mind, accept that you cannot control everything. So do not over expect or do not keep that like, okay, you can do control everything in your hands. So keep it as if you are doing it bad also, it's still okay. Okay, it's not like that if you're not able to reach to that expectations, that it's not you tend to feel stressed. Many of them have this issue. So keep it in a point that okay, you have a goal, but it should not affect much in your ability of taking the stress or anxiety. With that, do your best. So whatever you are doing, do your best. Even if it's not attaining to a perfection level, make sure that whatever you're doing, do it to the most. Like it can be even in your work or anything, like do it your best. With that, maintain a positive attitude. So with the negative thoughts, slightly replace it to the positive thoughts, and make sure to learn what triggers your anxiety so that you can know yourself, and write it down so that you can take a pattern or look for a pattern out of it. So coming with your body, you have to take control on your food habits as well in a lot of lifestyle changes, which is definitely limit on your alcohol and caffeine, eat well balanced meal, get enough sleep, exercise daily. So this will definitely improvise on maintaining your stress and your anxiety issues. So taking into action, what can you do, to come out of this? Few of this is you can take deep breaths. Okay, so like it's like a meditation where you can actually set yourself 10 minutes every day to do this breathing practices, or whenever you're attaining into this stressful situation, just slowly count 1 to 10 or maybe to 20. As I told you, it might sound silly, but it might actually work for anybody. Okay, and start giving something to your community. So if you, whenever you're volunteering something, somewhere it creates you to give that attachment of the network, or it gives you a break from that everyday routine which is giving you a stress. Take a time out for yourself, maybe listening to a music, reading a book, or maybe some form of hobbies. So take a time out for yourself rather than you giving yourself for everything else. Definitely make sure that every day, at least half an hour, you are taking a time out for yourself, so that whatever is running throughout the day, you are able to manage it with some form of hobbies. And definitely some stress relief therapies are there that I would be talking to you in forward. With that, make sure to talk to someone. Do not bottle up everything, because somewhere sharing any kind of stress related issues can somewhere help you to feel light or good as well. Okay. So now taking you further, these are different forms of therapies which is definitely can be taken care, which is your, so if I have to talk to you about your therapies, there are like few people with, not everybody is like wanting to take different therapies. So few people would want to have different therapies, and for few it will improvise on different therapies, right? So over here I have a list of different therapies that, but make sure that you're exposed to different sets of therapies. Only then it will help you to divert your mind and get back to your positive mental health to live satisfying lives. Okay, so it's not like one person will definitely, it's not like everybody will have the same set. So different person, because different person is exposed to different factors, they will want to opt for different kind of intervention. So here we do have cognitive and behavioral therapies. Okay, and then we have the psychodynamic therapies. We have the humanistic therapies, where by sharing your feelings, you feel much better. And for few, like your psychodynamic can be even writing a journal.
Susan?
So that is again your.
Susan? I don't know. I think because of the network, your presentation is not clear. I'll do one thing. I'll share the presentation.
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay. If you're sharing, I will present it. So I was waiting, but it just didn't get better. So I think I'll better share it.
Sure. You can.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just start. Okay, yeah. So coming with your cognitive and behavioral. So over here, it can be your maybe a nature walk, a meditation, which is again giving you some changes with your, anxiety or stress. So we have your psychodynamic therapies, which is can be by your writing a journal. So journaling can again help you a lot to understand yourself and understanding on what are the main things that is giving you the stress or anxiety issues. Your humanistic therapies is where you're sharing your your anxiety or your stress related issues to somebody. So that can even be your friend, or it can be a therapist, anything. Okay. Then your art therapies are like again coming under your music, your art, where you feel that doing some little painting or maybe listening to music can actually help you, calm your mind. Then the other set of therapies again can be again for your mindfulness. So it can be a very simple hobbies, maybe playing with your pet or maybe gardening. All of this also are slight, small techniques that can actually improvise on calming your mind so that you are not getting into a high stress level. Okay. So here is like different types of self-care that you can see. So again, with your physical, emotional, social, spiritual, your personal, your space, your financial work, that you can set your time for caring yourself. So automatically doing or picking one thing from this and continually, regularly doing it can definitely help you to maintain on your, taking care on your anxiety or your stress related issues. Okay. So now let's go to the next slide. Just see next slide.
Aren't you able to see? I've changed already.
Teslim, are you there?
Yeah, I've changed it. Can you hear me? Susan? Can others hear me? Is my voice audible? Yeah, it's audible, right? Susan, are you able to hear me? Okay. I think I'll just quickly call Susan.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah. You can hear me now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
okay, so sorry for that inconvenience.
No problem.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, okay. So coming with your aromatherapy, so we do have something with the other therapies over here. One that I would add is definitely your aromatherapy. If you see, it's a practice of inhaling the scent of essential oils to improve your well-being. Okay, so Not only this, definitely even with your scented candles or a floral bath will definitely improvise, because the main theory of it is it's to stimulate the smell receptors in your nose so that they can send messages to your nervous system and slightly calm your mind. So aromatherapy has done wonders to calm anxiety or stress issues. And you can even say this is like a natural remedy to even ease your stress or anxiety. Okay. And a very good essential oil for the stress related issue is definitely your lavender, your chamomile, or even your fennel oil. That's actually good to ease on your stress or anxiety. Now, secondly, coming with your exercise, as I told you, exercise definitely plays a very major role because it boosts your energy levels. It will definitely improvise on your blood flow, and very much necessary. Very good set of exercises to manage on your stress is definitely a walk or a HIIT, which is your high intensity workouts, or a yoga, or even a tai chi. So all of this have actually worked on calming the stress related issues, because it's more on improving the strength, the flexibility, and it works more on with your mind than only with your physical body. Okay, so taking you to the next slide, I would be taking you to the next. Okay, so here we do have some affirmations also. So now this again, if you have to see, this is just a set of affirmations and anxiety that I have posted in the for the presentation, but there are n number of affirmations that we all can follow, because basically if you have the 3 into 3 technique, so let me tell you that 3 times a day, if you recite one affirmation for 3 minutes, it's actually going
Susan? So I request everybody to actually please be patient. There is heavy rains here, specifically where Susan is staying right now. So she had already told me this before the session started. Susan, are you able to hear me? Okay, I'll quickly give her a call. Just 1 minute. She'll be back as soon as possible. Susan, can you hear me? Yeah. Susan? Yeah, we are not able to hear you. Yeah, I got it. Try again, huh? We are not able to hear you. Okay.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. We are quickly starting now.
Okay, so let me tell you the 3 into 3 technique is what I told you is with the positive affirmation. Take out 3 times a day where you have to recite one affirmation at least for 3 minutes. So somewhere it's going to create an empowering message to your mind, even though you're right or wrong, you're able to do it or not able to do it. It's actually going to boost your confidence. And make sure, very important is you have to do it daily. Okay. Secondly, space out some quiet environment to do that, so that you are actually reciting it in a very quiet environment, so you're able to actually understand the affirmation that you're taking in as well. Okay, so over here again with the next slide that you can see, we do have something known as the tapping technique as well. Now over here it is again one form from the Tai Chi over here, where I have showed you the major the pressure points. but you just need to tap away on the pressure point. So somewhere you feel slightly relaxed or stressed. Okay. So this again, you can do it like just for like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe in the morning, or maybe just you're too much in front of the computer, you want to take a break. Just slightly tap away on these pressure points. You somewhere feel that you are slightly released. So it's again, it can be somewhere a placebo effect also, or can be actually improvising on relieving you from the stress issues. Okay, so taking you to the next important slide, which is very much necessary, is your nutrition steps to beat anxiety. Okay, so over here, now we've learned about the therapies, we've learned about the exercise, what we need to do. Now, definitely comes with your nutrition, which plays a very major role on improvising on your stress or anxiety issues. So, if you see when people are stressed out, if you see, they tend to see, they tend to take a lot of wrong foods. If you see, they offer processed foods, they offer most of the sweets. So they crave for sweets. If you have seen, that's all because of the spike on cortisol hormone. Okay. But how do we improvise on taking care on the anxiety is firstly, you need to avoid on this processed foods, caffeine, alcohol, or much of sugar, because it actually increases more of your stress hormones to be released. So let me tell you how actually your coffee plays, inhibits your anxiety, your calming levels. Firstly is with your coffee. Too much coffee, if you have to take, it actually makes the person more irritated, or it can even aggravate on the anxiety or give him more panic attacks. Okay, so first thing is, instead of coffee, maybe you can go for some herbal teas, or best is go for a glass of water. Okay. Secondly is with your alcohol. Too much of alcohol lowers the energy levels, making the person's mind very unstable, and which is leading to dehydrating the body. So for a person who's very much depressed, the first thing that runs in their mind is, let me go have alcohol so that I can get a good sleep. No, it is actually triggering the cortisol hormone, which is not only making their mind unstable, but even making their physical health also, much more into a lot of health issues that they would be facing in a longer run. Thirdly is with your sugar and your processed foods. If you see, maybe with your sugar, you can instantly see that energy spiking up, but very much it can even wear off the energy levels that you're having, making the person much sober down. Secondly is with your processed foods. If you see, whenever you're having a processed food, when you are stressed out or in an anxiety situation, is the physical body is not able to digest so much of processed food, leading to an increase on cortisol levels, which is prone to unhealthy weight gain. That's why you see some people who are depressed, they say that due to my high stress, I'm gaining my weight. The reason is because they tend to opt for the wrong choices. So what can we do is, firstly, make sure you drink good amount of water. Okay, because whenever people are stressed out, they never touch the water. So firstly, a little dehydration also can affect on your mood, or your with the calming of your mind, it can definitely give you a little bit of dehydration levels. Secondly, opt for healthy, balanced diet, because they will maintain your hormone levels, which is again good to take control on your anxiety issues. With that, definitely adding a very healthy, effective supplements, having a good combination of herbs and vitamins. With that, your meditation or any techniques or therapies, so that it will all lead to a very right or positive attitude. So now taking you forward with the foods that is going to help you to boost your energy levels, or help you to calm your anxiety or stressful mind, is first is with your green tea. Okay, so if you have to say that, I can say that whatever you eat are is what you are. Okay, so that is really definitely a right meaning to say that it all depends upon what you're going to put in your body as well. That is what is going to reflect even with your mind or with your outer health. So firstly, I would suggest is with your green tea, because this contains something known as L-theanine, which is an amino acid that most of the studies have showed positive effect that can have on brain, or as to reduce the anxiety issues by lowering the cortisol levels as well. Okay, and it even improvises on your boosting on your memory function. So for people addicted to too much of caffeine, rather than that, you can offer green tea. So nowadays you do get flavored green teas that you can offer, because this actually does well to manage on your calming effects. Okay. Secondly is with your fruits. So over here, I'm very much specifically talking about fruits over here, because fruits, especially fruits having high amount of potassium or magnesium, may reduce symptoms of stress and anxiety. So bananas or blueberries, all of these, even oranges, which is again a citrus-based foods, are really good to improvise on your anxiety issues, because much of the citrus fruit having vitamin C lowers the cortisol levels. So try opting for maybe your banana, your blueberries, your oranges are a very good sources to help you to somewhere reduce on that anxiety issues. Okay. Next, coming with your green leafy vegetables. So here is your spinach. So not only spinach is the highest, but other green leafy vegetables also are quite rich in magnesium, which is again a major mineral that will help against any form of depression. So magnesium again is quite good for coming out of any kind of depression. With that, broccoli is really good food source for the stress or anxiety concerns, because this broccoli has a neuroprotective property which may often give calming effects to the body. Okay. With that, the next food that we have is your salmon. Okay, so we all know fish is good for the brain. So now let me tell you in detail how salmon is going to affect much on your brain health, or even in your person having stress issues. So firstly, the fish, especially your salmon, promotes brain health because it has the presence of EPA and DHA, which is your pentanoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. This basically regulates the neurotransmitter, which is your dopamine and serotonin, which have calming and relaxing properties. Okay. And secondly, salmon being a great source of omega-3, it has showed a lot of enhancing on the mood or calming effects for stress or anxiety. And it even reduces the inflammation. So all over your body, due to your stress, which has given you inflammation, taking salmon, which is a good source of omega-3, has actually reduced inflammation, and even has an ability to handle different kind of stressors. So due to the presence of EPA and DHA, the person is able to handle those stressors as well. Okay. So next, coming with your nuts and seeds. So that can be your almonds, your flax seeds, your pumpkin seeds, your walnuts. All of this contain potassium and magnesium. It contains a good source of iron to keep the body balanced with a good calming mood, as well as a very calming effect from the anxiety or stress. And it even somewhere avoids on the brain fatigueness due to overthinking. Some people do get some form of headaches, right? So somewhere a good source like these nuts and seeds, when you're taking it regularly, it helps you to reduce on the brain fatigue as well. Now then the next one is your dark chocolate. So for few people, as I told you, whenever they are wanting to have something sweet, I would suggest, rather than going for something like way too sweet, which is not good for your health, opt for fruits or a dark chocolate. Okay, so if you see, dark chocolate is actually good with the percentage of 70 to 74 is much more wonderful that you can add, because this contains something known as flavonols, where these are antioxidants which benefit the brain function, and has slight touch of magnesium also in it, where it increases the level of the neurotransmitter serotonin, which is again for the calming effect. Okay, so that is basically what the dark chocolate does. Next, coming with your milk and yogurt. So again, take it in a low fat form so that you're not necessarily gaining unhealthy weight. So coming with the yogurt, it's again a good form of probiotic because probiotics like yogurt is just not for your well-being, but is equally important for your mental health also. Coming with your milk, it has something known as tryptophan present in it, which is converted to the neurotransmitter serotonin, which again improves to make you calm. So that is why for few people, they say if you're not getting sleep, tend to have a glass of milk before sleep so that it will calm your mind. This is the reason why they tell, any person having insomniatic issues to take a glass of milk, because this tryptophan is converted to serotonin, which slightly helps the person to calm. So together, it actually improvises on reducing any kind of nerve, damage in the brain as well. Okay. So with this, I just wanted to add what are the other food sources. Definitely your soya, which can again stimulate the production of brain. And a few herbs that can actually help you is your chamomile, as I told you, because they help you reduce anxiety. Then your turmeric, because of the presence of curcumin, it promotes brain health. So definitely the herb known as Brahmi that we all know is again helping you to regenerate on your brain health. And it is actually, if you see Brahmi as a plant to relief, it's actually adaptogen. Okay, it acts as an adaptogen, which actually means that it can adapt into any kind of stressful situation. With that, your ginseng or your ashwagandha, all of these traditional herbs can actually help you to beat the anxiety or stress, and help you with the mental function and feeling of calmness would be taken care. Okay. So now I would be taking you further. What are the basic nutrients that can ease anxiety? So as we understood the food sources, so more on the nutrients is your magnesium, your omega-3 fatty acids, your probiotics, your zinc, your B vitamins that I spoke about. So all of it together have definitely improved a lot on maintaining on your anxiety, your stress, as well as it creates to give, improvising on your neurotransmitter serotonin and lowering your cortisol levels as well. Okay. So with this, I wanted to add even protein, because protein is just not for muscles, but it's equally important for creating many natural chemicals in the brain that can affect even your mood and concentration. So if you see from the food point of view, these are all going to definitely improvise. Now taking you further with the supplements, if you see whatever I have suggested with the food, or it can be with the nutrients, it is totally so impractical to take so many food choices at once, right? So the best option is to definitely add a natural, healthy, effective supplements to your lifestyle that you can take regularly. So taking you forward with the next supplement, I'll be suggesting you what are the right supplements to ensure that you get enough of the right compounds that can make you feel better overall. Okay. So just lean with the next slide, please. So over here is your first is your all plant protein powder. Our foundation supplements is your all plant protein powder, your Neutralite Daily, and your salmon omega-3. So as I suggested with those sources and nutrients, why the nutrients are important. So we are very much blessed that Neutralite has got all those nutrients into the set of the foundation supplement here. So coming with your protein powder, it is almost having 9 essential amino acids, and it's having a tri-blend of soya, yellow pea, and wheat, which are all a good combination of set of proteins. So if you see, with this, we do have another one, which is your all-plant protein powder with green tea as well, that can even support on your, additional supplements for your mental health. Then coming with your daily, which is a multivitamin, having almost 13 vitamins and 11 minerals. So any kind of nutritional gap that is happening can definitely be supported with our multivitamin, which, as I told you, different kind of vitamins and minerals is required to our body to support our mental health by giving some calming effects. Third one is your salmon omega-3, which we all know, which is a fish oil, and coming from the salmon, having a good source of omega-3. So if I have to tell more about this, because I've already spoken about how the ingredients or how the sources are going to impact on, specifically talking on Nutrilite. So if you see, each soft gel is giving almost 180 mg of the eicosapentaenoic acid and 120 mg of the docosahexaenoic acid, which is very much required for the stability of the mental health. Okay. The next supplement, which is very much supportive for the mental health, is your ginseng cherry plus, which is having a combination of Siberian ginseng and ginkgo biloba, which is again very good ingredients added to give to support on the mental function and feeling of calmness in mood, and it has helped to reduce anxiety and stress related issues as well. Okay, and it definitely improvises on the nervous system and endurance, like for the work endurance. It overall helps with the physical health with the maintenance of the nervous system as well. So taking you to the next slide is our traditional herb, which is your ashwagandha. It has a very active ingredient, which is known as the vithinolite. And being a regenerator, it actually, helps with boosting the body function, supports vitality, eases stress, calms nervous system as well. And with your Nutrilite Brahmi, it has active ingredient known as bacosides, which is again supporting the mental agility, improves functioning of nervous system, and even improves the attention. So definitely, addition of these traditional herbs is again a very great support to calm, the stress or any anxiety-related issues with the different lifestyle changes. The last one that I want to talk to you about is your natural B with yeast, because the set of B vitamins is very much needed, to support on the mental health. And our natural B is having almost 7 essential B vitamins. And if you see, especially the B6, B9, and B12 is very much needed to, have or maintain the calming neurotransmitter, which is known as GABA, which is your gamma aminobutyric acid, which is actually a calming neurotransmitter. And the addition of these essential B vitamins in our natural B is again definitely a good blessing for us to take it in a very easy way if you're not able to take it, in the food sources. Okay. With that, it is providing B vitamins from the enhanced yeast premix, which is again a very good source to boost on all the essential B vitamins. Okay. With this addition of our Nutrilite CalMag D Plus also would do wonders, because it has a combination of calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, and zinc and magnesium. Okay. So I'm not telling these are the only ones that can act as a treatment for your stress or anxiety, but with the lifestyle changes, with healthy eating, opting for different kind of interventions or therapies, these kind of supplements can give that extra boost to your mental health, to maintain on your healthy nervous system, and to manage or cope up with your stress or anxiety. Okay, so taking you further, I just want to play a minute video if we have time, Jasleen.
I'm so sorry, Susan. The next session will be starting.
Okay, so no problem. So let me tell you that if anybody is there, or if you are there itself having any kind of stress or anxiety, tend to release the pressure, but don't suffer in silence. Okay, so with this, as a part of the World Suicide Prevention Day, make sure that if anybody is having any kind of anxiety or stress issues, also, more than talking, first be a person who listens. Okay, at the same time, if you are a person having this kind of issues, don't get bottled up. Please share your situations. As much you are sharing your happiness, it is equally important that you share your stressful situations also for a person. And if you're not able to overcome any of this, then definitely you can meet a therapist or psychiatrist who can help you much better. But make sure, again, telling you, release the pressure, don't suffer in silence. Okay. So thank you, and hope I have tried to speak about it, and sorry for the inconvenience. It's like heavy rains here, so my network is really bad. So over to Justine now.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I know we are a little hurried up today because we have another session which is starting again dot at 8. So yes, I'm sure the presentation was very easy to understand, very simple. I'm sure you might have some more questions, and for those questions, I encourage you all to get in touch with Susan or Sapna. Both of them will be able to help you. And yes, do let us know your feedback. You have Susan's number. You can message her or you can message me and let us know how the whole presentation went by. Yes, we have our next session on thyroids, which will be on the 15th. You will be getting the link also with before a day or two. So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you so much, Susan, for putting in so much effort apart from all the consultations and the queries. Thank you for putting your time and effort for this presentation as well. Thank you so much, Susan. We can't hear you again.
Yeah, because of heavy rains, my network is a little.
No problem, no problem. So yes, we will connect on WhatsApp or on phone. So do get in touch with us. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll hoping to see you all very soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Bye.